Hello again, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Crystal from Heart Musings with Crystal. So today I'm working on my purple monochromatic spread as part of the challenge that I set up for myself for the last week of February. This has been a journey. So for this particular day, I did have a lot to say. I've mentioned it before, but I do currently live in Germany. And if you're familiar with Germany, they have a lockdown in place, meaning that the only stores and things that are open are essentials. So, like your grocery stores and pharmacies and things like that. With that, my husband and I haven't really been able to travel or see more of what Europe has to offer, sightseeing wise, I suppose. We've just been kind of staying indoors. And this past Saturday, because it's now Tuesday, but this past Saturday, I had heard about this nearby. I think it's like a mine or a water garden. I'm not 100% sure what it officially is called, but I heard about this place that was about 30 minutes from where we live. So, because we didn't have anything else to do on Saturday and it was really sunny out, we decided to go for a drive. And it was a really, really fun experience. You know, like the sky was very blue, it was sunny, which is something I found does not happen very often here in Germany. It's usually very cloudy and overcast, which is my kind of weather. I love cloudy and overcast. But I do also sometimes miss the sun, being a Texas native. So this particular day was really fun because it was nice to be out in the sun. But yeah, so we went out and I had all those beautiful photos that we took. And I think that was the biggest challenge with this day. I just had so many pictures that I wanted to put on the page, and I just didn't know how to do that without sacrificing writing space. So I think I might have mentioned it, but I usually journal in an undated journal. So this is my first year attempting to do the full year in the Hobonichi Cousin. I have tried it once before in the A6 when I was first starting out with the Hobonichi because I wanted to test it out. Um, and that size was really, really portable, but the size just didn't work for me. And so I thought that that was the issue. So, since then, I've found that A5 is my go to journaling size. Like, I've tried pocket size, A6, standard, personal, and B6 Slim, and they just weren't for me. And the reason I haven't tried B6 is because I haven't been able to find, or I wasn't able to find, Tomoe River paper inserts. But this was many moons ago. I mean, there are some available now. But yeah, but A5 is my go to. I found I really enjoy the space. And so whenever I journal in an A5, and it's undated, I'm not just limited to the one page. So all of those photos normally would be put on, the journaling spreads for that particular day, or event, I mean. But that's not the case with the Hobonichi Cousin. You kind of just have to work with what you got. And so I struggled. I tried to pick the photos that were my favorite to put. I printed out several, as you could see in the beginning, and yeah, so I just was trying to figure out the best way to put them on the page without having to sacrifice, like I said, space on it. And so one of the ways that I like to put, if I have excess ephemera and stuff, one of the ways that I like to put that on my page without, sacrificing the space is using tip-ins. So that purple girl tip-in, that was something that I drew and watercolored for Happy Mail sometime last year or the year before, and I had made copies of it. And obviously, when I did it, it was the size of an A5, so it was a rather large image. And so I just like scanned it and resized it to make it small enough to make tip-ins to send to people. So I found one of those in a giant stack of collage ephemera that I hadn't used up. So I figured it went perfect. And that was what I wanted to be the main focal point image of my spread. So yeah, so I just, like I said, I put extra photos on the back of that and decorated it to kind of fit with the purple aesthetic. So I use my Canon selfie for prints, for photo prints when I collage, or not collage, but I memory keep. I really, really like the print quality of the Canon selfie. I know it's a little bit bulky for some people, and a lot of people tend to use, I think the Canon Ivy is one that's the portable printer that everyone really likes right now. I don't have that. I have what are they called? The Sprocket? Yeah, I have a Sprocket, but I've never been able to figure out how to get good quality prints with my Sprocket. I bought mine when they were on sale, on clearance this past summer. I bought it for like $8, which is like crazy because I think they're normally 50. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's how much they cost normally. But anyway, I have a Sprocket, but I don't really like the way that it prints the photos, but I do carry it with me like when I want to journal in the moment, or if I'm traveling. Not that I'm doing a lot of that lately, but yeah, I mainly rely on my Canon selfie for my photos. It's really, really old. I bought it used at like a garage sale for $30 back in 2017. And knock on wood, I hope that baby does not die on me anytime soon because I do not feel like spending the money for a new photo printer. Anyway, ramble on the selfie over. The print quality, like I said, is really good. But I will say that some people have pointed out that the prints themselves are thick because it's an actual like photo paper. So I had seen Mitts. She does this kind of technique with her die cuts where she peels off excess like backing to make it thinner. So I attempted to do that with my photos here because I have noticed that with the Tomoe River paper in the Hobonichi Cousin, it's very thin, so whatever you put on your page, it kind of creates like an indent or an imprint on the back of that. And so because I was using so many photos, I wanted to try and avoid that crease and that imprint. So I was like, oh, well, let me try the same thing Mitz does with her die cuts. And on the tip end, I didn't have any issues whatsoever. But when I tried to do the same thing for those 3 photos at the top of the page, I found that the photos themselves started to curl. And I think the reason is because it didn't have anything like hard behind it or like firm to give it structure. So, for the tip in, it didn't matter because obviously I glued it onto like cardstock, so it had a nice surface. But because the other prints went straight onto the Tomoe River paper, like it got real bendy and they curved, and I was just not a fan. So later on in the video, you're gonna see I go back and I use clear Scotch tape to just kind of tape down the edges to kind of try and smooth and flatten out the prints. So if you do this, just keep that in mind. I will say it definitely helped with the impressions. Like I didn't have like the harsh indents that I usually do when I put in my photos, but I do have bendy pictures on the other side. So I guess pick your poison for that there. I just wanted to throw that out there in case you were thinking of doing the same thing. Yeah, so that is, I think, all the main takeaways from this particular spread was I found out about the whole, like, Canon peeling off the back of the photos thing and how that works on Tomoe River paper, and how I think this day in particular, I was just frustrated with the lack of space. And I know I have my overflow journal that I could write that in, But when it comes to like, you know, traveling or really key moments, I like to have it all together. And I just don't, not a huge fan of the one page thing. So I think going forward for 2022, once this year is over, I'm going to go back to the insert that I love, which is the Taroko Shop Enigma. It's a 68 GSM Tomoe River paper. I believe it's 68 GSM. So it's Tomoe River paper, but it is thicker, so you don't have the same issues like you have with this one, with like the thinness of the paper and how everything like shows on the other side, like indent wise. Yeah, you don't have that issue with the Enigma. So I'll probably, actually not probably, I will go back to that for 2022. I'm just gonna bite the bullet and make the expense, because this whole testing out new inserts has just really solidified what I like in a notebook and what I don't like. Also, I just want to take the time to thank you all so much for supporting my small channel. I've seen an uptick in subscribers. I recently hit 100. I'm a little over 100 now, and it's just, yeah, my mind is blown. But yes, from the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much. You all don't know how much your support and your comments and your likes mean to me. I debated YouTube for several years. Just a lot of, like I said before, a lot of self doubt, and it's nice to know that there are people out there that are enjoying the content that I'm putting out there. So, yes, I will say it again. Thank you all so much for listening to me ramble and watching me try to make pretty things in my journal, and sometimes not so pretty things in my journal. But yes, thank you all so very, very much. And with that, I will leave you all. Thank you again. If you have any suggestions or on content that you'd like to see from me, I'm always up for new things. So feel free to comment down below, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Um, but yeah, I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day and have a good one. Bye.